All right, so we're doing Shara Torah,
Mhm.
Shmiras haLashon, Shara Torah, Perek Aleph, and we're discussing here the Limud Torah is a tikkun for the gam of the Lashon Hara, and also the chiv of learning Torah. So yesterday we learned about what was this point yesterday? He was explaining a machlekes. There's a machlekes in Erechin, Rav Chama bar Rav Chanina and Rav Acha bar Chanina. That Rav Chama said that the takana from Sapi Lashon Hara is V'yitamel Chacham Yasik B'Torah Shnema Eitz Chaim Hi Mapi Lashon Eitz Chaim. And Rav Acha bar Chanina said no, there's no takana. But then he explained that there's two aspects. He explained, if I remember, there's the aspect of hurt another person, right? That's one thing, and that certainly there's no mechila until you ask for pius, until you mefayis him. Then he said there's another aspect that you've been mekalko your lashon. And he says that everyone agrees that their limud Torah will correct things, but where did he leave them? Yes.
If I remember correctly, the
Yeah.
machlokas was what happens, like practically, the kilkul of the lashon. Does it get fixed if you were
That's,
Matthias, the other guy? Is that? I think that's what you said. Yes, I think that's what you said.
okay. Okay. Good.
And then he had a
Right.
whole. He built up the svara was because like, what are they arguing about? Like, no one's gonna say that you're okay if you don't not it's a ben adam lachaveros. So he had to split it into the two categories, and then
Right.
it's funny. I thought the other way around. I thought he was going to go the other way, that it's a machlokes whether it helps to be, even if you were, but I guess it makes sense that it's the learning Torah should help because it's like, it's the it's a cleanse of the
Right,
of
right. But he also brought, the Gemara says, "Goisik Matari Yisurin B'Dilin Mehem."
Mhm.
So it takes the place of Yisurin if you're Isaac Matari. Chayvik Krisis, he had quoted Animchal with Yisurin
Mhm.
Memarki. So, okay, so now we go to Chof Cheshvat. Gamli Minataru Takana Shalo Yovel Lidelo Shana. Besides, retroactively, it's also a tool, a takana that you shouldn't speak in the future. Lashon Kamaisha Kosov Shama the Gemara that says Matakano Social Yova Day Lashon. What is your takana that you should not come to speak Lashon Hara? In Talmud Chacham, Yasak Batayra. But Talmud Pashit says Chavetz Chaim. You might ask what's the point here? Or why is Yasak Batayra the takana you shouldn't speak? So he says it's Pashit. Kidi Isa quote the Gemara Sanhedrin Adam la'omal yulad. Right? We were created to something Western society doesn't know. They think Adam to pleasure yulad, but the Torah tells us Adam la'omal yulad. Ein yedem la'amal malachim la'amal peh. The Gemara they asks, well, what kind of amal? Is it a physical amal? Is it a verbal amal? Shuaimer ki ochev ochaf olav piyu haviyar melomer piv lamal pi. It means an amal of peh. Says the Gemara, but still, are we talking about learning Torah, the amal of Torah, or the amal sicha, which he doesn't explain what amal is there in sicha. But okay, but the Gemara concludes, person was created to toil in Torah. And what's pshat? The nitan la'adam teva meis shenitan la'dibur. Person has a nature from when he was given the ability to speak. Sheklei hamifta yasua shalahem v'lois atzl. He says there's a difference, an inherent difference between speech, the kalim of speech, that there, its nature is to speak. You don't have to put yourself out to speak. It's natural. You speak naturally, unlike other parts of the body, that you have to work. Otherwise, you sit on the chair. You don't get up and do anything. And that's what it means, the amopeach. But you have to realize, why was I given this ability of speech and that it comes freely? Is in order to be terrible. It's the armor that console says Chazal, and that's why Chazal said that if you want to takon and not to come to speak Lashon Hara, you should be involved in Torah. He says the nature of a person is that you talk. That's how Hashem created the person. And therefore, if you're not going to be using it for what you're supposed to be using it for learning Torah, it's going to talk and you're going to speak Lashon Hara. Unless a person has the ability to go against his nature. We had discussed this earlier somewhere. The Gemara says, Mahu Darka should make himself like an Elam, should make himself like someone who's not able to speak. But there, that takes a whole different level of working on yourself to go against the inherent nature of speaking. Says the Chosheim, but this here is like an easier. That's what the Gemara is saying. It's an easier way to save yourself from Lashon Hara, is if you keep your mouth busy with Divrei Torah. It's going to talk. The nature is to talk. So talk Divrei Torah. Next day, Shvat. He says, therefore, based on this, we can understand how important it is for us to be mischazik and learning Torah. Both. Because it's a mitzvah. So that's a reason on its own. As we're going to discuss later on, this chiyuv of limud Torah. And besides, and the second reason why a person has to be mischazik in learning Torah is because by doing that, you will be protecting yourself and saving yourself from all kind of diburim asurim. Also came bismaneno, says the Chafetz Chaim, certainly in our time, Shabbat and Esem Rabbim Nismoited Amud HaTorah, that the Amud, the pillar of Torah, has been weakened. So much more does a person therefore have to strengthen himself and work on it. Yishami Perikaroya, the Gemara in Yishami Perikaroya, and the brachas of Shimon ben Yochai Yomer. The Shimon Yochai makes a statement: "Risador Shinisyashi Yedem in Torah." If you see a generation that they've given up from learning Torah, so you strengthen yourself. And you get the schar for all those who aren't learning. So Gemara, Yishami, Nevar Mitzvahs Geilu Chiva Adam LaTorah, and we'll explain a bit about the tremendous obligation a person has to learn Torah. For Geilu Schori by the Mazar Lam this tremendous reward he has in this world and the next. Excuse me. Kihidei. You do what the Etzabli Torah. It says because number one, we know that besides, not besides, that the learning Torah for itself, Lavan Mashalim and maybe the day besides the concept that by learning, you do. You learn something, now you know how to do it. You learn Hilchos Tefillin, you can put on Tefillin. So besides that, the limit brings you to Maisa, who mitzvah say Daraisa. On its own, it's a mitzvah Daraisa. If civil amanatam Maisa, which matam lasses. Ramu Chazal Razal says in Peah, everyone knows this Mishnah in Peah, right? Because we say it every morning. The Talmud Torah Keneged Kulam says it's the greatest mitzvah. Vis Bishami Perik Alf Peah. Misham Mitzvah Shekal Mitzvahs Ein Shavos. All the mitzvahs don't equal l'dova echad min haTorah to one statement of Torah. Uksiv further Lamed Shvat. Ilekach toiv nosati lochem erosi al tazoy Pashik and Mishlei. I've given you a good acquisition. Ekach toiv nosachem toirosi my Torah. Don't leave it. Vakamana b'mashama toiv toirosi. What does it mean? Ulefi mashi yadua. It's based on what we know. Shadav shu choshev be'enei oni. That's something that's important in the eyes of a poor person. To the extent that he considers that good, has no meaning, no value to someone who's not poor, right? Because for him, it's nothing. And the same thing is as you go up a step. What's choshev to an average person? Has no value for someone who's very wealthy. And what's important in the eyes of a wealthy person has no value in the eyes of the king. Medina, what's important in the eyes of a king, like conquering another country, has no value in the eyes of a malach. It ain't a small change, so to speak. Like we know there are some malachim that they're so large, there are thousands of parosos. It's a large amount. And therefore, that's why the pasuk is emphasizing here. The pasuk is saying, Hashem saying, take out time to realize how good this is, how great this goodness is. Until it's called by Mika, mine. So in Hashem's eye, called Toiv. That's the ultimate. I created all the worlds, and it's as if they're not important in my eyes. Yet, Nikre says the Torah b'shem Toiv. The Torah, I call it Toiv. V'chem de genusa, and it's a treasure. Shakadosh Baruch Hu mishtashea, but Hakadosh Baruch Hu enjoys it. Tamid, Katzik Voidachsiv, as it says in Mishlei, ve'eye shashuim yom yom v'hi Toirosi. Okay, now Tazer, since it's so good, and in Hashem's eyes it's called good. So Al Tazevu. Because the truth is, there's no end to the kedusha of Torah K'vayshom Chazal. As Chazal tells us, Yesh Shishim Riboy Perushim L'chol Pasuk Pasuk Torah. Every pasuk of Torah has 60 times 10,000 is how much? Is that 6 million? 6 million Perushim. V'yisa b'medrash Oishi is Terbekiva. Such a medrash, the Orshel Shmaisa Kadeshim Shakadosh Baruch Hu Lamala, that the light that's emitted from the names of Hakadosh Baruch Hu above, who Esrim ve'echad alofim rivervoice parsois. Okay, these are numbers that are beyond
600,000.
21.
600,000.
Is it
600,000? 60 times 10,000. 600,000.
what? Say that again.
60 times
Oh,
10,000 is 600,000.
600,000. Okay. And then here he's saying that or that's from the Shemus of Hakadosh Baruch Hu is 21 alofim, 21,000 rivervoice times 10,000. Kiminyan Shem Ekya. As a proud Hashem's name, Ekya is 21. Right? Yeah. Ramu Chazal v'hu b'Yalkut Tehillim, it says in Yalkut Tehillim, Amra b'los l'nindu parshiyah satorah al seder, that on purpose, the Torah is not written in the, I guess, the logical Seder, the way it should have been written. Seder, if it would be like that, and anyone who would learn Torah, you would just learn Torah, you'd be able to do Tchias HaMesim and do all kind of Nisim. So therefore, the order of the Torah is sort of shuffled, so the light isn't shining out. Who that is revealed to Hashem. Shenemar pasuk in Yeshaya, umi kamoini yikra. Okay, we're learning a little more about the greatness of Torah.